What's up, guys? So, this is going to be number two on this type of video. It's a reaction to I See It's Complicated. Shout out to him out in Vegas doing the Lord's work. He has really good content going and check him out. But like last time, we're going to go ahead and react to the questions that he asked and the people he's interviewing. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this. If you don't, let me know. We'll do something else. We'll review. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Let me know. All my links, all that stuff is down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and play this video and give you guys my thoughts on certain things.
Why is it considered rude to ask a woman her age or her weight?
Mickey Mouse asked Minnie her weight, and he almost got slapped.
Why do women stress over these issues, and what does that say about her deeper sense of self-worth?
They need to take a trip to Disneyland.
Why are men expected to be confident by women who seem so insecure?
Mickey Mouse doesn't want to answer that question.
Do you think it's equally rude to ask a man how much money he makes?
Yes.
Why?
Mickey Mouse has a lot in the bank.
I wouldn't go up to a guy and ask him like that kind of information. I don't know. I feel
Okay.
that way.
Why do women tend to stress over these issues, and what does that say about her deeper sense of self-worth?
I think women stress about these insecurities and stuff because
We'll get deeper into the video before I give you guys kind of what I think.
all over the internet we're told we have to be a specific way and look a certain way, and I don't know. I feel like that just makes us more insecure about how we feel about ourselves.
Why are men expected to be confident by women who seem so insecure?
I couldn't answer that one.
Do you think it's equally rude to ask a man how much money he makes?
Yes, absolutely.
Why do men stress over becoming successful, and what does that say about his deeper sense of self-worth?
I feel like in this generation and world, men are told they have to have no feeling and be told to do more and are expected more of, I guess.
Well, as a man,
I think it's a pretty good question. I would argue that women make other women insecure, right? Because most of the time, like when women flex about their achievements and stuff that they have, it's usually flexing towards other women. They're not like, most guys don't see a girl who's like, oh, I'm a boss this, or I'm independent, whatever. We don't see that as attractive, so that's not for us. Usually it's other women who make other women insecure. That would be my argument. And then the other question he asked, and I'm sure there's going to be more responses, but I mean, yeah, as a guy, you have that innate desire, imperative to create, to go out there and fight, right? To earn your next meal. So is it difficult? Yeah, but for the most part, most guys have that in them anyway.
and being a leader, being the head of everything, you're supposed to be that confident. You're supposed to show her what confidence looks like.
Right.
And with you being able to do so, you're going to be able to develop her if she's somebody that wants to be developed and have the
Exactly.
confidence herself.
Do you think it's equally rude to ask a man how much money he makes?
I believe that money shouldn't be the important topic, especially when first getting to know somebody, because money can be made. The most important thing is getting to know the individual.
That, and I think if you can portray ambition as well as the ability to make that money, like, I think that's more important. It's not necessarily in that moment do you have it, but can they see a future with it? Because I'm gonna say something a little controversial, but men care about a woman's past and women care about a man's future, right? So most women, like, if they see potential, right, if they see ambition, if they see a hardworking dude, they'll go that route, because they see that in them. They see a good future. So
Why do men tend to stress over becoming successful, and what does that say about his deeper sense of self-worth?
Well, men, I would say males, tend to do that because they lack something within self, so they feel as if everything that they need to obtain is outside of them in order to not only impress themselves, but impress women as well.
If you had to choose, would you rather be desired for your body or your finances?
Finances. Really? Because they gonna steal all your money.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather have money. money than have the looks.
I'd
I'd
rather
rather
This is
have
gonna be
money than the
interesting.
looks too, but if somebody wants me for my finances, they're gonna take it all. At least my looks, like they can't take it from me.
Why do so many women prefer to show off their bodies rather than their finances?
Probably because they don't want it taken from them. And nobody can take your looks from you for the most part. Somebody can definitely steal your money, especially if you love them.
But don't women kind of resent being used for their bodies?
Yeah, absolutely. And men resent being used for their money.
She's smart.
Okay, so how do we fix that?
I guess.
It's like I said before, right? Again, this is, some people say it's rude, but it's fact. Women are objectified often by their bodies, and men are objectified by what they provide, or lack thereof. So, you know, you have that saying, right? Shout out to Rollo Tomasi. Women are sex objects and men are success objects.
Huh. It's honestly a great question. It's something that I've struggled. Why are you letting me answer all of these?
If you had to choose, would you rather be desired for your body or your finances?
My body.
Why?
Because I would like to be a gym rat.
Why do so many women prefer to show off their bodies rather than their finances?
Because they know what draws attention, their body.
Okay, aren't women objectifying themselves when they do that?
Of course.
So why do women condemn in men the very thing that they benefit from, when sex is typically what they use to empower themselves?
Sex sells.
So why do they complain about being sexually objectified when sex
Because
sells?
they like the attention, they like the dispute.
Okay, doesn't that make them hypocrites?
Of course.
Women run the world. Let's get that straight. We run the world. That's why it's important.
So then why are so many women complaining about how hard it is to be a woman in our society if they...
Because they're bitches. They're not getting no good dick. They don't have a man taking care of them or a good paying job. One of those. One out of the three. Either they're not getting good dick, they don't have a good paying job, or they don't have a good man providing for them. One of the three.
Does a woman's dating options increase or decrease with age?
It depends
On what?
how she take care of herself.
Okay.
Decrease only because, take the same woman, right? Let's say a 40-year-old woman. Would she be able to compete with her 20-year-old self? Right? Not with somebody else, but would she be able to compete with the 20-year-old self? Probably not.
But in general, do you think that overall women's dating options increase or decrease with age?
Increase.
Increase? So you think that
I don't
more
think so.
men are looking for older women as opposed to young baddies?
I
No,
don't
they
think
look
so.
for young women.
So
Young
basically,
baddies.
okay, so wouldn't that say that women's dating options often decrease with age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decrease, I would say.
Yeah, definitely decrease. The more disappointed we get, the more we don't want to date.
So why do women's standards often increase as their options decrease?
I think after her looks aren't a thing anymore, she probably starts to value other parts of herself. And probably more than what her looks were offering before.
Why does that usually happen after the looks fade? Why can't it happen before?
That's a great question. Part of me wants to blame like the media and the importance that they put on somebody's looks, especially young women. But honestly, I think it's just more of a household conversation that needs to happen with women, with girls, with daughters, with these ladies.
How do you think women should keep men interested when their looks begin to fade?
Wear more sexier clothes and do more freaky shit.
Is it fair to say that women are attracted to men with status and high social value?
I would say yeah.
Does that make them opportunists?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and some, yeah.
Does this make them opportunists?
A little bit, yeah. Kind of does make them opportunists. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay, why is it acceptable for that behavior when it's often frowned upon when an older man takes on a young trophy wife?
See, I wouldn't say it is acceptable because, like, although it does happen, like, I personally wouldn't say it's acceptable. I don't think it's fair.
Okay. Do you see any difference between the party girl who uses her early 20s to sleep with lots of alpha males and the mid-30s player guy who sleeps with lots of young, beautiful women?
I feel attacked, but
The reason why that's frowned upon is because society is very hypocritical, and with them being hypocritical, if they see an older gentleman who would
Not every double standard benefits men, and not everyone benefits women, right? There's double standards that benefit us independently and differently. So
is able to catch a young lady who has an interest in an older man, they feel as if, at least I believe, why couldn't I be in that position at my age? And who knows the type of life that this older individual is living now when it
Not only that, but I mean, a lot of us know we kind of grew up with the idea, right, that women mature faster than men. I think that's true, both biologically and mentally. But on the flip side of that, they reach their maturity a lot sooner, and men hit the maturity a lot later, right? Their prime a lot later. So, and it takes time for men to build what women find attractive in men, right? Whether it's confidence, whether it's ambition, money, status, um, a good job, a home, like all these things, they take a lot of time, right? So usually, as a guy is older, they're more attractive just by what they're able to provide, um, or what women would otherwise find attractive. While on the flip side, men find usually, right, and studies show, like, we find women more attractive as they're younger, right? So it ties in, but that's why you see, again, even biologically, like, women are just more attracted to older men, and there's a reason for that. Like, there's a biological, hardwired reason for it.
it comes to this specific lady.
If you had to choose, would you rather be desired for your body or your finances?
Finances, absolutely.
Why?
Because financially, I already made it like bigger. You know, like my body has nothing to do with my status in a way. If I've made it financially, I feel like I made it in life. You know.
Why do so many women prefer to show off their bodies rather than their finances?
One part is men don't really care about a woman's finances. Like, if she's attractive, she's attractive. You can see an attractive girl at McDonald's, and if she's attractive as a guy, more than likely you're still gonna mess with it. Like, even, whether she's a doctor, whether she's this and that, like, is it a plus potentially? Yeah, but is it gonna, like, skew you away from it? Probably not. It's still a viable option for a lot of guys, right? We don't really see a woman's accomplishments as, oh my god, this is attractive, because those traits, are something that we already have, and usually what we look for is the opposite, right? So, but then the question that he asked was, would you rather be objectified? I think, by your finances or by your looks. It's funny because if you were to ask guys, guys would tell you that they would prefer to be objectified by their body. Women would say by their finances, which is what happens in real life. Like, right, flip the other way. Um, Women say finances because they're actively pursued solely based on their looks, because that's what most guys want, while men are often chased for their finances, right, which is what women like. So because, I guess, they're not, actively getting the opposite, I would imagine that both genders, would prefer the opposite, right? I think a guy's biggest, like, insecurity is being left with nothing, as far as their finances, and a woman's biggest insecurity is being used solely for her beauty or her body, right?
I don't know.
I think it's easier to show off like
your body,
than how much you make.
Yeah.
Are those women objectifying themselves?
No.
Why not?
I mean,
God gave you your body. Like, you should be allowed to show it. Yeah.
When a woman decides to give a man a
I think
shot,
I
is
understood
there
the
a
question.
window of time for him to close the deal before she gets bored?
Absolutely.
So timing is important?
Timing is very important. Timing is everything.
Are young women aware that they will have peak years of beauty, fertility, and dating options, but will lose influence over men as they age?
They're
To
not
a
aware.
degree, yes. 'Cause a lot of them, even though they say women mature faster than men, a lot of them just don't have that understanding as of yet. So in the process of becoming older, it starts to kick in even more. But in the younger years, not really.
So why do women often choose to wait for romance and focus on their career when their own window of time is the most limited?
Because
It's a good question, because for the most part, if you ask women what it is they're attracted to, more often than not, they always describe attributes that are required for survival, right? So you ask them like, what is it that you would ideally, right? If they were honest with themselves, what do you find attractive? Usually they'll tell you somebody who's bigger, taller, stronger, uh, ambitious, protective, um, certain traits, and all of those things have to do with survival. So by saying that, the I believe a lot of women don't understand that the time frame that you biologically, whether people like it or not, biologically the time frame that you have to secure that type of man who can provide in provision what they find most attractive, um, that window of time that they have isn't really that big when you compare it to the amount of time that they're actually going to need that security and provisioning, right? So let's say they're beautiful from 18 to 30, right? So you have 12 years basically to lock down that protector, that person who's going to provision, that someone who's ambitious, all that stuff. Um, you have those 12 years, which later on the road, when you're looking at, let's say, 30 to 75, right? That's 45 years of time that you're going to need, or you're going to want, I would say, somebody with those traits. So the window of time they actually have to tie down somebody like that is a lot smaller, and but they think they can continue to push it off. The problem then becomes is as you get older, again, whether people like it or not, um, that let's say 35-year-old self, you're not going to be able to necessarily compete with someone who's 10 years younger than you for that, right? Because you might want that guy, but nothing says that that guy's going to want you. Why would he when he can go, someone your age at 35 can go and date someone who's 25? I mean, you see that with a lot of like athletes and famous people. For the most part, they usually go for somebody younger, right? You never see them with someone the same age. And if you do, it takes time for that person, that guy, to give that girl commitment, right? And at that age, because as women get older, they start seeing it like, wow, my window of opportunity is closing down. And that's when they're really out there trying to lock somebody down when they should have been doing that earlier. But I mean, I understand it. Women take a gamble when they try to lock down a guy in regards to whether he's going to be able to provide what she needs long term. So they play the field right, but same way guys gamble on things with women, women do the same thing.
They feel as like again, I'm going to the word feeling. They feel as if they've been in situations to where they have been done wrong, they look at the majority of individuals that are men in the world as they're gonna do them wrong too. So I might as well focus on self and get a degree.
Well, then you also have like you said, they mess with the wrong people, so it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. Um, I would disagree, and only because we know for a fact that most women chase a very small percentage of men in general. So when women say, "Oh, all guys are this, all guys are that," it's like not necessarily. I would say the vast majority are not, because those guys that women complain about, it's just a small percentage of guys that they all actively choose and find attractive, right? So they huddle to that, but the vast majority of men are invisible to most women. Um, if you're a woman watching this, or if you're a guy, you can ask a girl this question. If you're out with her, just walking around, you can ask her throughout the day, right from the morning to where we're at now, how many men around you, without necessarily looking at this moment, how many men around you, or have you seen throughout the day that you would consider as a viable option? Most girls are going to tell you, like, I don't know, like, I haven't really paid attention to that, or whatever, because it's that attention is always given, so there's no need for them to actually look for it. But as a guy, if you ask a guy that, throughout your day, how many girls have you seen that you see as viable options? Most guys can actually sometimes even give you a number, right? Because they're actively looking for that. So, but it goes to show that most men are invisible to most women.
Or get a career, whatever the case may be.
Do you think if young women became more aware of their window of time, their life priorities would change?
Absolutely.
How?
It'll change by understanding that you're not gonna be fine as a mother for forever. unless that's just in your genetic nature.
Hard reality.
So be more open.
I don't trust a lot of people. So if I'm gonna end up alone, it's because of me, because I don't trust people.
I agree. I think I'd piggyback off of that too. Like, I think about it
They say
often.
that now.
Actually, I personally.
They say that now because they have options now. Now let's talk about options. They, not just women, I would say some guys, but I would say mostly women conflate sexual attraction to relationship attraction, right? Because they think, oh, there's 100 guys in my DMs. Like, I'm sure, I mean, these two women are fairly attractive. I'm sure they have plenty of guys in their DMs just simping over them, right? So they see it as there's options, and those options are going to, because they have that abundance mindset, they think those options are always going to be there. And they also conflate that with the fact that, oh, all these guys would be willing to give me marriage, and that's not necessarily the case. They might want to sleep with you, but not many of them are actually going to take you seriously, right? But they conflate that. They conflate that attention between relationship attention and sexual attraction. So that's why a lot of women who are younger will feel this way, because they have that abundance mindset, and they think that that abundance is going to be there forever. They don't realize that when they hit 35, 40, those guys that were giving them attention, they're going to give some other young girl attention.
They say I'll never get married, I'll never have kids, but I'm okay with that too. Like, I feel like I should be free, but maybe the time will come.
If women are smarter than men, why do they keep believing men's lies and opening their legs?
Sometimes you don't believe him, you know it's a lie, but you still want some dick. But he's gonna have like repercussions for that. Like me, my favorite saying is like, hit a man where it hurts him in his pockets, so like, yes, we're gonna have sex, but today a nail gonna break, I'm gonna get my nails done, a toe chip purposely, I kicked something, now I need my toe fixed, I want to eat Benihana's today, not Taco Bell, like,
She's being honest.
just once, once I want to do this, do that, and that, like,
Well,
he
she
told me
does.
it's gonna just hurt him in his pockets instead of that lie he told me earlier, like, damn. So either way, he's gonna pay for it. She dumb if she believe it. Like, I don't really know what to say about that one. But me, I believe stuff too, but under, because I'm gonna get something out of it. Either I'm gonna believe this lie, I'm gonna get some good dick, I'm gonna play dumb, get a shopping spree when I wake up. Like, life is gonna go good for me after you tell this dumbass lie.
This is why, like, people say, oh, why do people play games? Because of people like this. She's being honest about it, but she's telling you up front, like, if you're going to play games, I want to play games. And that's what ends up happening, is just games all around.
I'm about to do you in right after this,
How do you plan on keeping men interested in you once your looks begin to fade?
Cause me, I have a good heart. Like, if I have a good
Everything she just said, but she has a good heart. She means well.
heart, believe it or not, I am down to earth. If I do love a man, those are certain men I do that way. You lie to me, then I gotta get you where it hurts. But I'm a good woman. Like, I encourage my man. I ride for my man. I don't need his money. I come with my own. I appreciate his. Maybe if he's short, which none of my men have never been. Maybe I got a little 20 for you or something. God forbid. But
Notice she said, God forbid, right? Because that's one thing that you'll notice too is, a little side note, when, you always hear women say, I'm a boss babe, or I'm independent, I don't need it, or whatever. Men aren't like that, because when men make money, often they make money and try to make an excess of it so that they can go on and say, I can finally date, right? If I want to protect and provision, I can finally do it. Usually men do it so that they can take care of their tribe, right? When women make money, it's not so much for that. It's more for themselves, as a sense of like, I don't need anybody and whatever. It's like that saying, her money is her money, but my money is our money, right? So
I'm just a good woman. I mean, I pray for my man, I pray for his mama too. It don't get no better than that.
How do you plan on keeping men interested in you when your looks begin to fade?
Hopefully I'm a compassionate enough person. That's what I've been working on for the past, so far of my life. like I at least have, aside from being blessed with my mother's good looks, like I'm decently intelligent and I can hold
She
a good
does seem
conversation and I am a very compassionate person.
educated.
So at the moment I'm just hoping that that rides me through the rest of my life.
And do you think that a woman's dating options increase or decrease with age?
Decrease, definitely. I mean, I'm 23 right now and I still like look at guys and I'm like, if a 19-year-old walks in front of him, I'm fucked.
Competition anxiety. Look it up.
What's the definition of a cougar?
Older women that look sexy as hell.
Okay, is it true that cougars have to work harder to attract men because they are less desirable?
No, they don't have to work harder. It just
I would say
depends
so.
on how attractive they are.
Don't cougars typically approach men and buy them drinks?
Yes.
So isn't that working harder than younger women? Most younger women don't do that.
Some women just know what they want.
Have you ever
Yeah, when
considered
they're
the
older.
possibility that you might end up a lonely old cat lady?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I've got this far, man. I don't have a cat, but I got this far.
What's the difference between a lonely old cat lady and a young man who's short, fat, and broke?
He doesn't have a cat.
They both are equally unattractive to the opposite sex.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I've come to accept it, to be honest.
Maybe not cats, but maybe dogs.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a lonely old cat lady and a young man who's short, fat, and broke?
What's the difference? That man got potential and he got time.
You do.
I mean, aren't they both involuntarily celibate?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Against
they're
their own
both
will, yes.
unattractive.
The young cat lady or the old cat lady is someone who's just tired of people's shit, and then the guy who's lower status, not anywhere. He's just really insecure and is not trying to step up the plate at all.
Aren't they both involuntarily celibate?
Depends. The man for sure. The woman, she can, do whatever she wants.
So you think that the cat lady is basically single by choice?
Pretty much.
Why do people assume there's something wrong with a person who can't attract a partner?
I don't know. I guess it's because it's like a person's like innate instinct. Like that's our purpose is to reproduce. But at the same time, like I don't understand why people look down upon those who like either are celibate by choice or even not by choice.
You can't unprogram like millennia of biological programming. You can suppress it. You can try to suppress as much as you can, but you can't undo it, right? So we, women and men, we look for that.
Like even those who are celibate by choice, people give them a lot of shit, and I'm like, why? It's none of your business.
Okay. And lastly, does a person's body count matter in dating?
No.
If it doesn't matter, can you tell us your body count?
It does matter.
That's a good one.
So then can we conclude that it does matter?
Not a
Nah,
man's.
it don't matter.
Well, then tell us your body count.
I don't know.
So can we conclude that it does matter?
It don't matter.
It does.
It shouldn't matter, but it does
But it
matter.
does.
Alright.
I personally don't want somebody that anybody can have, because if I'm gonna hold myself accountable,
I'm gonna stop it right there because that's not true. Right? That's not true because I bet you if you put somebody they find extremely attractive, like some celebrity in front of them, and they offer themselves to these girls, you think these girls are gonna say no? Women don't find it as a big deal as men do. Like men have serious contention with a woman's past, right?
and not let anyone have access to me, what's fair in having someone that has that?
I understand her point though because she's looking at it from her perspective because that's what they value. You see, so she has to take herself out of that and not see it from her perspective.
Anyone can have access to. Yeah.
So do you think it matters or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, it can.
You think it can matter? Do you think it matters more for men or for women? Or equal?
It matters to men more,
Yeah.
for sure, what the girl's body type.
Why do you think so?
Because something about master key and
I know where she got that from, but yeah, the saying is a key that can open many locks is a good key, but a lock that can be opened by any key is a shitty lock.
All the locks? I don't know.
I think the expression goes, a key that can open up any lock is a
Right,
master
yep.
key, but a lock that can be opened up by 50 keys is a shitty lock.
So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? It's thought provoking to say the least, you know. Um, but yeah, I think he does really good work. He has really good questions, and you see people kind of be honest. Or you hope that they're honest with the questions, with the answers that they give, right? But it's interesting to have those type of conversations with people because you start to see our imperatives when doing a lot of mate searching, right? And if you started to understand more of that, both men and women, you would probably see more successful relationships, more so than you do now. But yeah, give your thoughts. You know, I do want to get into some sort of discussion with it, but you know, so give your thoughts, comments, share the video. Let me know what you guys think. Like it, you know, subscribe. The usual. I'm gonna go ahead and try to be more on top of like videos. I'm gonna try to do at least 3 videos a week, so you know, and improve on that. But I do want to kind of scale and do different things. So if you guys have any ideas, like I said, my socials and everything are down below. Comment what you guys think. You can DM me, you can email me, whatever it is. But yeah, I look forward to it, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.